bull put credit spread. And then the next one is what we call the iron condor credit spread. This is basically a combination of the two together, okay? So it's the combination of your bull put credit spread and a bear call credit spread. So when you feel that, you know, a stock or security is going to trade in a very tight range or kind of be stuck in a range between two strike prices and stagnate, then this strategy is a great way to, you know, collect premium, and also at the same time you're, you know, having your capping your risk, having it as a spread. So this is, again, it's going to take advantage of sideways market, take advantage of that time decay and volatility crush of your options as they go into expiration. All right, so here's basically your typical iron condor credit spread is going to be a combination of two credit spreads, combination of your bear call credit spread and a bull put credit spread. So the credit received is your profit. So, you know, if you sold, you know, a credit spread, you received $50 on this side, $50 on that side, your total potential profit would just be that credit received of 100, you know, versus your spread with, let's say your spread with $100. So then you've got your potential risk of 300. So that's typical on how these work, okay? And they're called long because you're short the body, long the wings. That's how brokers quote a market, all right? So here's one that we had set up. This was, you know, and these are great for legging, right? So if you have maybe a big push down, you want to sell the bull put credit spread first and you're expected to move back up, or the other way around. This one is one that we did on Tesla and legged it doing the bull put credit spread first. So this one started out shorting the bull put credit spread. So it was trading at 243.30. So sold the 237.5, 235 bull put credit spread first right here. And that 237.5 was a minus 20 delta when it was shorted. Okay, 80% probability, just to show you the probabilities. And so that was put on for $60 credit. And then you can see here it was, you know, down to 14. So if you'd covered there, you would have made $46 or 24% return. So that was the bull put credit spread side when the market, Tesla was down, then it was turning up, sold that right away. Okay, so this is kind of a typical thing that you can look at. We'll go through this in more detail again, like I said, in the course with different examples. And then when it started to push back up and then stall out a little bit on the upside, then sold the bear call credit spread here to complete the Condor. All right, so then, and then when this was shorted, this was selling at 267.5, 270. That short strike was a 23 delta. So, you know, the probability there 77%. So then short that call, long the call, okay, short that 267.5 call, and then bought the call above it, the 270, brought in $38, okay? All right, so the combination though of those two together, that gives you your total max premium from the two spreads, and that's how the iron condor basically works. So here you're short that 267.5, 270 call, and that, you know, just kind of showing the probability that had a 23 delta, the short strike, and the 237.5, 235. This was done first. That had about a 20 delta. So the spread width here, you can see between the two spreads was $2.50, right? 267, 270, 237.5, 230. So spread width of $250, and you received a total premium of 98. Okay, so then your potential profit is your premium received at 98, but your potential risk though is capped at 152. So it's your spread width 250 less your premium received. So, you know, if things, you know, went against you and it really ripped to the upside or downside, you still know your max risk is 152. And then we'll go through how to play stops and how to use stop losses on these credit spreads as well. There are, you know, a number of different rules that I like to use to kind of teach you how to control your stop. So what you want to do in these types, we call it kind of a campaign. You never want to lose your full at risk, okay? So that's why we call it kind of a campaign trade, and we'll go through how that works and why it is in the course. But that's kind of an overview there of that. Okay, so there's your iron condor, what it looks like. You know, you had the short call credit spread here. You started out with a bull put, so you can leg in, you can leg out, or you can put it in all at once. Went out right perfect, right in the middle. That's where we want it. So you can see your credit there of 60. Bought that back at $4. So there was your return on that. You had 56 bucks on that profit, and then you had your 38. Bought that back at 3. You know, you had your 35 bucks there. So you had your profit of 91, you know, on that risk of 152. So 60% return on that. So that's your typical iron condor that you can play when markets are going sideways.